Hey guys, happy Friday. Cyndi here. Yes, this is a surprise live stream, but I've had kind of a crazy morning. We've had a crazy week at Careers on Vacation and done some really amazing work with clients this week. So I wanted to share some cool stuff going into the weekend for you. And I want to show you some math. Who wants to do math on a Friday? That sucks, right? So, first things first, a lot of people, when they first come to me or they consult with me, I was in Houston this week. Let me back up. I was in Houston for the week and I did consulting with a company. And often, companies will hire me to come in and look at their numbers and from a marketing perspective, excuse me, an operations perspective, what can I do better to make more money? So I thought this is a perfect example to share a real life scenario that we see whenever we consult with businesses. So, and first things first, if you guys don't know your numbers in your business, that's really important. You need to know, what is your close rate? For every 100 people you talk to, how many you sell? Do you have a 20% close rate, a 30%, a 50%, a 60%? Knowing what your close rate is critical, because I'm going to show you the math on how you push levers in your business here in a second, but these are the numbers you need to know. You need to know your close rate. You need to know what your cost per lead is. So that how you figure out your cost per lead is take all of the marketing dollars you spend on a monthly basis, and then how many leads did you get for the month, right? That's your cost per lead. Then you have your close rate. Let's see, what's my other one I was looking? Oh, of course, your sales, obviously. So you need to know how much are you selling for the month? What do your customers spend when you do acquire them? So if you have, 100 leads and you sell 25 of them, what's the average spend? So take your total sales and divide it by your customers that closed, and that will give you your customer spend. So let me walk you through a scenario. So I'm going to show you what I did for this company, because they came in and said, hey, we think we're doing pretty good. We're averaging around 7,000 a month, but we know we can do better. So let's take a look at it. So let me just show you my screen right here. So in this particular scenario, we were looking at, they had a close rate of 24%, okay? Not terrible. I like to see it closer to 30%. That's pretty much industry standard if you're an established agent. Look, if you're new and that's not your close rate, don't freak out. I'm just saying the goal is 30. Leads per month, they're bringing in around 175 leads per month. Now, keep in mind, guys, this is a $100,000 a month business, so their marketing budget's going to be higher than yours. That's totally fine. Your marketing budget might be 400 or 40 right now. I don't know. But just to give you kind of like a big picture so you can kind of see it. So their marketing budget was $4,000 a month. Their cost per lead is $22.85. That means for this $4,000 that they spend, if you take that and divide it by 175, that gives you the cost per lead. This is too high. Okay, so that was the first thing that was like a red flag for me. Their average customer spend, $28.50. Not terrible, not really a luxury agency, but that's okay. That's not what their niche is. So in terms of averaging total sales, 119.7, because they monetize and do some other things, average around 11% commission. So if you take 119 times 11%, it brings you 12 minus the 4 that they spent on marketing. Okay. That's where I'm coming up with that 7,000 number. So, real quick, I'm going to show you what my recommendations would be in that scenario, right? So in looking at, they're like, hey, we're spending money, we're spending 4, we're making 7, not terrible, but a couple of areas that they could focus in on. And if this is your numbers, run these numbers and look at it for yourself. This is how you can tell before you make an investment, before you hire me, before you do anything in your business. Like if I got 50 more leads a month or 100 more leads a month and I close at this percentage, I would make this much more. This is how you make a business decision, right? So look at your numbers. And this is what I do for companies to help them get to the next place. So now what I did with this company is I dug into their marketing, because that cost per lead was really too high. They should be able to bring that down. And sure enough, when I looked into their marketing, they were boosting Facebook ads, which is not the way that you should run Facebook ads. And we came up with, of course, a new strategy on that, showed them how to leverage social media, make some adjustments in their direct mail campaigns. They were also doing the cadence wrong on that. And again, these are learning curve things that it will take you years of testing to figure it out, because they just don't have the trained eye. Like that's what I do every day. So I was able to say, ooh, you know why that didn't work? Because this is the best practice and the case studies show this will get you a better result. So make this adjustment here. So we made a whole, list of adjustments in their marketing to fix that. And then the other thing, although they weren't really considering their sales being an issue, I said, well, let's look at the math of that. Like if you get your sales a little bit higher, you can move the mark in a huge way. So just by correcting this marketing, they'll be able to do that in the next 30 to 60 days and working harder with their existing sales force. What would that mean? What would that $7,000 turn into? Well, let me show you. So let me continue with the math. So in terms of, I'm going to walk you through how we calculate this. Well, maybe if it will let me move my screen. Hang on, I'm going to move this down a little bit. There we go. All right, so here's the calculation, right? Hang on, I lost you guys. I need to make you bigger 1 second. Okay, so if they spend the same $4,000, so we're not asking them to spend any more money than they're already spending. And again, I know you may not have a $4,000 marketing budget. Totally cool. This is a big business we're talking about here. So maybe your budget is $400, but the point is you don't change your marketing spend, right? So marketing spend is the same. If we can get that cost per lead down to a more manageable $12 cost per lead, for the same $4,000, they're going to bring in 333 leads. They're going to increase their lead count from where it was before. I don't know if I figured out the number before. Yeah, it was 175, right? And then if they work with their sales force and they get it to this 30% mark, right? Then they're going to close 100 sales, okay? So if they close that, hang on for me 1 second. I'm switching back and forth here because the screen keeps shrinking on me. One moment. So if they get that close rate, they're going to sell 100 instead of whatever they were selling before. I don't remember. And even if the average price per vacation or whatever stays the same at that $28.50, look how much more they are selling than they were before. This is huge. So before they were at, let's see here. Before they were at $28.50, so their sales were $119, right? So just from making those adjustments, it changes it from $119, oh, sorry, flipping screens, there we go, all the way up to $285 at the same 11% break. And this is before I work with them on getting that cost per trip up and before I work with them on getting their percentage up by monetizing their business better. We're not even to those yet, right? So, but look at the difference. So now with that 11%, they're making $31,000 minus the $4,000 they spent on marketing. They turn that $7,000 into $27,350 if they move these numbers, right? So that is the math, guys, in terms of making these decisions on how you do things and how making changes in your business can affect what you do on an annual level, a monthly level. Like this is important stuff. So whether you're a brand new business or a middle business or really established like this business was, always being on top of your numbers is really important. So if you're not already, run those numbers and say, for 2019, I want to, whatever your goal is for yourself, take what you've done so far in 2018 and figure out what's my cost per lead, what's my, average commission that I'm earning percentage wise across the board based on your situation, whether you're hosting, whether you're not, whether you're independent, all that good stuff. Do the math that we just did in your own business. Then look at your marketing budget. Like if you're only spending $100 on marketing a month, well, that's why you're not bringing leads in. But also marketing is like one of those things where you can just throw money out the window if you don't know what you're doing. Look how we made that same $4,000 work for that company. We didn't ask them to spend more money, right? Said, take your existing marketing budget, do a better job of marketing. Like, let me show you what you should be doing to fix this. And then let's work with the sales team to get them closing stronger. If you pull these two levers in your business, it could mean the difference between $27,000 a month and $7,000 a month. So we're talking multiple six-figure difference in just moving two numbers in their business before we even talk to them about monetizing, before we even talk to them about other things that they could do to repackage and things like that, getting their cost per sale up. How do you cross-sell, upsell, all that good stuff. So guys, look, this is what I do every day. I don't always share the math of what I do, but I was driving home I left Houston, left H-Town at 4 a.m. this morning, and I had kind of a funny experience. So it was super, super foggy. And I was like, oh, I want to see my kids before they go to school. I'm trying to make it back to Austin before 7:30 in the morning. But I could only see like maybe a quarter of a mile ahead at a time. And it just made me think, like, that's how life works when you have a goal. Like, no matter what, I'm going to Austin today. Hey, Michelle, no matter what, from California, yay, oh, you're up early. Get that money, girl. Whatever your goal is in terms of your life, your business, I can't see from Houston to Austin. Right? But I know my goal is to get home to my babies and kiss them before they get to school. That's the goal. Just like in business, if your goal is to be at 100,000 or multi six figures or wherever you want to be next year, maybe you want to start your agency. I don't know. Wherever your goal is, you're never going to see the whole thing unfold in front of you. It's a little bit at a time. It's a quarter of a mile at a time. As long as you stay diligent, get the help that you need, continue. Hey, Renee, good to see you. As long as you're doing those things in your business, it will grow and it will evolve. But you have to make decisions not based on emotion. You have to make decisions based on the math. Do you think it was worth it for that company to pay me a few $1,000s if they're going to make $20,000 more a month for the rest of whenever they're in business? Of course it was. Like the best money they spent all year, right? So, and in terms of our program, that's separate from the consulting I do for corporations and things like that. That's at a higher price. But obviously I'm delivering a higher, right, immediately in that particular situation. So, that's how you want to think about your business. Like it's a foggy road sometimes. Like you might not know every single step to get from here to Austin or here to San Francisco. But what do? You plug in your GPS, this is my goal, and then you track. You go step by step by step to get to that. So what I encourage you to do, we've had such a blockbuster week at Careers on Vacation, y'all. We've had so many people signing up for our mastermind and saying yes to themselves, saying, I'm finally going to have the year I want. I've been watching these success stories. I want to work with Cyndi. I want to make this transformation. So first of all, kudos to every one of you that stood up and said yes to yourself this week and got out of your own way and said, I'm going to do it. And this happens every year. Like we're always super busy November, December. We're already booking into January and February, guys. So if you are thinking about working with me, please fill out a request for a discovery call, careersonvacation.com/ready now. We always sell out this time of year because everyone's getting ready for the new year. Some want to get everything in place and ready before wave season hits, and then we have a lot that hit in January as well. But do yourself that favor because rates are going up beginning of January if you're not already in. So, but listen, even if you're not ready for that step, that's cool too. I hope that today's information will give you some steps to start analyzing your business a little better. Everything comes down to numbers. Every decision you make should be numbers, whether it be, am I going to spend more on marketing? If your marketing's not effective, freaking quit throwing money at it. That's the other thing. Like, stop throwing money away. That's the quickest way in any business. It doesn't matter if it's a travel business or whatever, is doing ineffective marketing. And of course, operations costs is the other one that kind of can match with that. But marketing is so controllable if you know what you're doing. And I don't expect you to be a marketing expert. That's what I am. That's what I love to do. It's what my passion is. So at any rate, I hope this was helpful for you today. And I'm going to check out now. I've been working crazy like a mad woman all week. I'm going to spend some time with my family. And I encourage you guys to get some self-care time. Book your call if you haven't already. Let's roll up our sleeves and make your business the best it is. And you guys have a great weekend. We'll talk soon. Bye, guys. Love and abundance.